mental health and yoga. So how many of you here have practiced yoga? Okay, we have a few hands. Good to see that. At the end of this event, I hope we can get all the hands up so that everyone here eventually gets to practice yoga. So I want to start off my talk by talking a little bit about mental health. So you guys are familiar with the concept of mental health, right? What it is. And all right, so mental health, I'm a firm believer of the saying that mental health is safety too. In order to do a certain task, in order to achieve something, you need to have that mindset. You need to have that mental health in order to do something. So in this talk, I will be talking about why it's important to integrate yoga into our routines to take care of our overall mental health and well-being. So I want to share a little bit about my story. As Sudha introduced me, I started practicing yoga when I was 4. So I was introduced to the concept of yoga at 4, and I was born in Sri Lanka. So after that, we moved to Vancouver as a family. And when I moved there, obviously new place, new province, new country, and there I entered my first school in Canada. Now, I loved the environment. I loved my teachers. All of them were amazing. But when I eventually got to meet my classmates, it started off as mockery. I was mocked because I was known as the so-called new kid, right? New kid from another country. She's not from Canada. She's new. And eventually it started off as a mockery to bullying. So I was bullied in school, and during that time it was very difficult for me. I didn't know what to do. So I told my parents, look, this is happening at school. I'm being bullied, Mom and Dad. I don't know what to do. So the first thing that they tell me is, go do some yoga and meditation. So I thought, okay, yoga and meditation, let's try it out. I did some breathing techniques, I did some practices, and that helped me. That helped me big time. Although I was being bullied in school, I was able to tackle that. I was able to improve my self-confidence. So after that time period, we moved from Vancouver to Ontario in 2016. And this time, I was in grade 6. So I was going into elementary school. And when I got into my elementary school, believe it or not, the cycle continues. I was bullied again. So it was hard to connect with my classmates. At the same time, they had hard time connecting with me. So when I introduced myself to my classmates, they were like, okay, yeah, she's from Vancouver and all that. But I was eventually bullied. I don't know what it was for, but I was bullied. And again, I told my parents, same drill. I told them I was being bullied in class. I was being bullied in school. Not sure what to do. They said, go do some meditation. Go do some yoga. It can help you big time. So the next day, what did I do? I did some meditation, did a few breathing techniques, did some yoga asanas or yoga postures, and I was more involved with it. So I got back to school and I was able to really connect with my classmates eventually. But keep in mind, this is not an overnight thing. It was a process. Now, when I entered high school in grade 9, after all that bullying was over, I had to battle with myself. New school, new environment, new teachers, and initially when I entered high school, my thought was, it's a big school, there's a lot of people, a lot of teachers. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I thought it was the end of the world, if I'm being honest. And I was honestly in shock because there was a lot of people in high school. It was a big place, And I asked myself, how am I going to manage this? How am I going to tackle this? So then I told my parents again, see, I'm having this nervousness, a little bit of anxiety. I don't know what I'm going to do. And they said, start doing some meditation. Take it seriously. Make it a discipline. So I did that. I did a little bit of yoga, did some meditation, did some introspection, and that helped me big time. I was able to conquer my fears. I improved my self-confidence during that time in high school. But unfortunately, that didn't last for long. When the pandemic hit, I was facing anxiety and depression, but I was not sure how to cope. Fortunately, I got back to yoga and meditation when my parents told me to continue with my practice. The consistency was essential there. So once I did, I healed. I was much better. So after the pandemic, I decided, you know what? Yoga has helped me big time. Yoga has improved my confidence, improved me as a person. So I decided to introduce a platform. I wanted to share this miracle with everyone. So I introduced a platform called A Yogi's Perspective, which you see over there. A Yogi's Perspective is an online platform where we aim to spread awareness about yoga and its benefits. And slowly after that, I decided, you know what? I want to go a little vocal. I want to be heard. I want my voice to be heard. So I decided to introduce a podcast called Inside the Minds of Great Yogis. And I interviewed over 50 guest speakers from all around the world. Yeah. Thank you. So the reason why I wanted to do that was I wanted perspectives to be heard. I wanted their stories to be shared, as well as how they started their journey of yoga. So I think that was quite essential there. Now, moving on about yoga. So you're probably all wondering, why should I practice yoga? Why should we do yoga? And that's a valid question to ask. So Patanjali, who is the father of yoga, said the following phrase in his scriptures. It states the following: Atha yoga anushranam, which means now the practice of yoga shall begin. And I hope that's the case for all of us in this room. So another 3 important concepts that Patanjali said about yoga was spiritual contemplation, breathing, and yoga exercises. I also read an interesting stats in Canada. So in Canada, approximately 5.3 million adults live with obesity. Take that in. I know, 5.3 million adults. And obesity significantly increases the risks of several chronic diseases. And this alone is a huge problem. Stress is a common cause for obesity in Canada. So when we look at our mental health, a lot of us may find stresses in our lives. A lot of us may think, I'm not able to do this. What should I do next? That type of inner thoughts in our head and inner thinkings. So to avoid this, I feel that it is so essential to practice yoga, to calm that inner storm. So now moving on, I feel like it is very essential to get this practice, to get everyone into this practice. So here's what I want everyone to do. Close your eyes. Close your eyes with me. All right, all of you, close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. One more time, take a deep breath in and breathe out. And you can open your eyes. How are you feeling after that? Good? Okay. So a little tense. It will release a little bit of that tension, just doing that simple breathing there. So I want to conclude my talk by saying that yoga has helped me face my storms and tsunamis in life. And I feel that all of us in here are able to do the same, to face your storms and tsunamis in life as well. I would also like to mention one more thing. I'm a 700 RYT yoga instructor, and I'm also a student at U of T. So if any of you are interested to learn more about yoga, want to know, have a chat with me about yoga, feel free to reach out to me. And you can obviously scan that QR code over there. And I have one over here with me as well. So I'll give this over to our audience members so you can pass it around. So you can scan that QR code and you will get links to my channels as well as Yogi's Perspective as well as our podcast. So thank you to the Landed for Success team for giving me this opportunity to guest speak. It's been amazing. And I'd also like to thank all of you for taking your time to listen. And I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you.